Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox on Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. Because it all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lamson got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
White Sox fans, welcome in. It is the Sox on Tap post-game show. Jonnie and Sean here with you, and Sean Roberts joining me tonight to discuss a White Sox 2-1 loss, open the series. Sean, Sox are back on their BS.
Yeah, this is yesterday you get the huge win. You kept fighting. You get the walk-off win. Huge must win. We were talking in our group chat. Season on the brink. Felt like yesterday they get the win. And then they just give it right back, right? They come out and they're getting no hit through 5. I think they got the first hit in the 6th inning, I believe, with Harrison there. And then they fight back, and it's what they do all the time, right? Like it's don't get up for the letdown. Yeah. And I feel, and they come up short. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Your hero comes to the dish, right? And the Tigers pretty much just gave the White Sox the middle finger. I mean, and we can dive into it more, but that was a FU. We're not scared of you. No matter who's at the dish, we're gonna go after you. And sure enough, it worked out in their favor.
We'll get down to that. I think you brought up a good kind of interlude before we jumped on the air, but we'll share that with the listeners here in a little bit. Sean, it's the fake rally is what I like to call it. You're talking about at the end. We've just seen it so many times. It looks like they're going to mount something. They even, like you said, scratched one across the board on that Robert double, but then ultimately ends up coming up short. Very anticlimactic there. So no hero tonight is the title of our episode for this evening. So listeners, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to On Tap Sportsnet on YouTube so you can jump in here, join the conversation. We can feature your comments on the broadcast as we roll through. All right, Sean, starting from the top here, Dylan Cease Day obviously did not throw too poorly. 8 strikeout day for him, a couple of frames where he fanned the entire side. Overall, gave his team a chance to win, which unfortunately feels like we've been talking about too much. The offense just is not able to supplement. Another case in point tonight.
Yeah, Dylan looked good. You're never going to get on a starting pitcher, giving up 1 run, going 6 innings. Like that's masterful work. I don't care how you get there. If you get there and you're able to do that, keep your team within a ball game. I feel like every time I'm on the post game show, I'm like, you know what, the starting pitcher did their job tonight. They did their job. Dylan Cease is doing what Dylan Cease does. He gave up the home run, and it's sad that it had to be to Javi Baez, right? And on such a pathetic swing. But that's what got Javi Baez paid. But no, Dylan looked good. I was impressed with it. It sucks that he pitches for the White Sox, to be honest with you, because the offensive effort was pathetic. But yeah, Dylan looked good tonight. Good to see.
Yeah, right. So I just wanted to start with him. That's one positive there. His final line: 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run on that home run that you mentioned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. And obviously that 1 home run was to Baez there. So let's talk offense. Who the hell is this guy? Brisky. I don't even know how to pronounce the last name. I don't know if you have any better insight on that as me, but hits us through 5. We don't scratch our first hit, and it's a ground ball single in the 6th. That's pathetic right there, Sean.
Yeah, I believe he had a 6-something ERA coming into tonight's game. I'm not sure if I seen that stat correct. But just I feel like every time the Sox the day prior have a huge offensive day, the next day they just get worked. And I feel like this has been an organizational deal for the last 20 years. You could throw anybody that is either struggling, or you could bring them up from AAA, AA. Hell, you could bring a guy up from rookie ball, and I feel like if he'll go 4 or 5 innings and just make the White Sox look awful. I don't care who's managing, who the hitting coach is. I just feel like that's what happens to this organization. And it's tiring. I mean, what else more is there to say? We got no hit through 5 innings by a guy that shouldn't be no hitting anyone in baseball.
Right.
It's just, and a couple hard hit balls. Don't get me wrong, a couple hard hit balls, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm at a loss for words. With
right,
this.
you bring up good points in that. Yes, it does feel like it's been a dragging trend for better part of like 2 decades now. And then the other one is that I go back to my kind of talking point that when I had said that this team hates momentum, right?
Yep.
And that yesterday should have been an emotionally charged victory. We've had so many of these throughout the year. I can go and pinpoint the aftermath of the Donaldson incident in New York, and then coming home to get shellacked by the Red Sox. You could go and point to the winning streak, the 6-game winning streak earlier in May with the Cubs in Boston. Then you come home finally, and then you let your foot off the gas in the series after that. There's plenty. You could go and pinpoint more of them, but the sweep of the Giants, right? And then you come up and lose 2 against the Minnesota Twins most recently, and then here you go. You salvage 1 game of that series, big to keep you. What was that? Swing between 5.5, 7.5. Okay, and then now you go and drop the series opener to a team that, okay, I will give the Tigers credit in that they swept the Guardians, so they were a little bit hot coming in, but it's time for the White Sox to take care of business. We've been saying this for feels like months now, Sean, and they're just not doing it, and it's against opponents that you should be able to. I go back
Nani,
to
this has been,
right.
I mean, this has been when the Minnesota series started, we were going what I think is a 19-game stretch here against the Central Division or something like, and it's now or never. Like they're like how they perform here in these next few weeks, I believe is what maybe happens or doesn't happen at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And starting and you started at home. You started at home in front of your home crowd, man, and you come out. We don't even need to get into the first 2 games of the Twin series because effing awful.
Yeah.
But you battle back, and you're right. It's momentum kill. We all sat here after that Yankees game, after that Yankee series in New York. Tim Anderson gets that home run. Holy crap! This is the turnaround. It's happening. Here we go, baby. But the spark we needed. And then they fall flat on their face.
Yep.
You talk about the winning streaks, the big wins. Yesterday was a big win,
and
you come out and get no hit through 5.
Yeah,
like
come on, I want to know what the culprit. I like our guy Matt chiming in the comments here. He says 2022 Chicago White Sox 0.00 team TWTW. Absolutely trackable stat. You can see it. We might go negative values for these. We might start having to, Matt. I think that might be the case. We talk about TWTW all the time, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm just. It all goes back to that. They hate momentum and that sort. And Sean, I want to get to like the culprit. Is it emotionally charged victory? Are you like?
No.
Hungover from the high of that. The next
no,
day
they haven't had enough of them.
That's what should be just rolling into the next day and make you feel good about yourself
exactly.
Instead of like sulking in it. Like, I don't know.
They haven't had enough of them to have a hangover from it, right? Like a win like yesterday makes you want to get to the ballpark today and whoop some damn ass, and that's what should happen. Unfortunately, we're fans of the Chicago White Sox, and they don't allow us to have that pleasure. They don't allow themselves to have that pleasure. In fact, they let a Tigers team, and granted, 1-0 but 1-0 with this team this season, at least to this point, feels like it's 10-0.
Oh, yeah, dude, you want to talk about that? Yesterday, I was at that game, the walk-off yesterday, and every time they went down, I just felt so like down. Like anytime they go down a run, even multiple runs, even worse. But like you had said, even one run, it feels almost insurmountable, just from the vibe standpoint.
Yeah, and when we talk vibes, and I feel like Tony's getting annoyed with Steve and I because we're always just like, well, we'll get them tomorrow as soon as the team takes a lead, whether it's 1-0 or like yesterday, it was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And every time we surrendered the lead, I was like, ball game. Yeah. I honestly had a tweet ready yesterday, Nani. Yes, I had a tweet ready that when the Twins went up, it was at 8-6 when Urshela hit that home run. I was ready for the 3rd out in the 9th inning for me to tweet out, congratulations to the AL Central Minnesota Twins 2022. Like I had that tweet ready. Vaughn hits the home run. We're tied. Here we go. We win. Now I'm like, let's go. 5.5.
Yeah. It's a big swing. Yeah.
Big swing. And you come out and you lose tonight. And I don't care about the effort in the bottom of the 9th. I don't care.
Right.
I'm done with moral victories. I need victories. We need victories.
Yeah, straight up wins. Get in that left-hand column.
Moral victories can get effed.
Yes, right. Like I said, our guy in WST always says, get in that damn left-hand column. And that's just what they need more than ever right now. You mentioned that, though. I know you said you don't care about, but we do have to talk about it. And that slap in the face that you had alluded to in our intro here. Give us a rundown of that situation in the ninth inning and why you think it was the way it was.
Yeah, well, so you get the hit by Anderson, and then you get the Pollock gets on with the walk, Robert with the double. We're down 2-1. You got second and third, 1 out. And if you go back to the broadcast, you have Benetti and Stone. And honestly, there was probably a lot of other people, including NBC Sports Talk, Twitter, who just seems to shoot themselves in the foot every chance they get. They were like, why aren't you walking Jose Abreu here? Put him on base. His run doesn't matter, and it didn't matter. And you have the chance for the double play. But if you're the Tigers, right? Like if you're the Tigers, your season's not going anywhere. Like, you know what? White Sox, we're not scared of you. Let's go after you here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get Jose Abreu to chase some pitches. Dude swung at a ball that was over his head on an 0-2 count. You know why? Because all the pressure in the world is on Jose Abreu. And rightfully so. The unfortunate thing is he's our guy, right? Like he's our hero. He's the one that's getting pictures taken of him in the dugout because he's sad because we're losing crucial divisional games. He's the man, right? So he's amped up. He knows he needs to come through here in the clutch. So he's going to be anxious. He threw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball over your head. Now, granted, I've never seen a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Don't ever want to see a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. But if you're Jose, man, you gotta sit back and take a deep breath there. Take a deep breath and realize I gotta have a good at bat here. I gotta have a good approach. Yeah. He had a terrible approach the entire at bat, and frankly, as soon as he struck out, I think we're all to this point as a fan base. We knew what was going to happen with Eloy. So
yeah, and with that, Abreu, in my mind, it looked like he had made up his mind before the pitch was even thrown, before Soto's even coming set. He's like, yeah, I'm swinging at this.
And that's what I'm saying. He was over anxious because he felt the pressure of, I have to come through here. Yeah.
Right. And then
because he knows he doesn't have trust in anybody else.
Right. And then, with Eloy coming up next there, it would have been very nice for, just a second game back here after that long, stint of being out with his injury. It would have been real nice for him to play the hero, and maybe Benetti could have reprised that he's your hero tonight. But alas, we have no hero tonight.
I get a nice little ground ball to Javier Baez.
The thing with him, though, is, John, I don't like silver linings. Like, they along with moral victories, they can all go get fucked. But Eloy, you talked about, yes, the White Sox hit the ball hard, even when they didn't have hits for the first 5 innings. Eloy had tattooed a couple of those. Unfortunately, one of those couldn't have come and found a gap, found some grass in this situation. Then we're talking about a winner here. But I will say it is encouraging, especially based on how down I think a lot of the White Sox fan base was on just the returns from his rehab stint, the extended rehab stint. It is nice to see him slapping some baseballs around the ballpark. I will.
Yeah, say. It's been 2 games, but he's looked good. I like his demeanor in the box. I like his approach. It as cliche and as much as I hate admitting it, it is nice having that smile back on the field and kind of loosening up what you hope is a dugout there. But he's looked good. He's made solid contact. Obviously, we all know what he did yesterday. He had some really good at-bats today. You mentioned he roped, his first 2 at-bats, roped a couple balls, and they just happened to find, they were outs. But he needs to we have to rely on so much. The White Sox constantly have to play perfect baseball. They have to have guys come through. Like they never make it easy. They're never going to make it easy. I mean, at this point, we know what this team is. This team's not going to just dramatically change overnight. As much as we think sometimes and we want it to, it's not.
Yeah, it feels like a group project where, where only like one person's like doing all the work. Well, the only person doing all that work tonight was Dylan Cease, and the rest of them just sat back and thought they could coast on his laurels, and obviously not the case.
And you bring up too, Nani, you bring up that group project aspect, right? Like, and it feels like that every night it's on one player, and for the most part, offensively, that one player's been Jose Abreu, which again goes back to that 9th inning at bat. He still feels that way, and he wants to come through so bad that he's swinging that 0-2 stuff that's not even remotely close.
Yeah, that's like over his head. So it's interesting that we come to this juncture, Sean. We were talking about Abreu in this particular situation, because on one hand, you kind of want to be mad about the chasing that pitch, how egregiously out of the zone it was. But on the other hand, you can understand all the pressure that's on him and all the pressure that's built up on him. Right?
Yeah. And I get it. Like I wasn't, and I don't know if this is just, I've become numb to this team, right? Like when Robert hit his double down the line, I just sat here and watched TV. I was like, oh, let's see what happens, right? Like there was no excitement out of me because don't get up for the letdown. Well,
yeah.
But when Jose struck out, I was just like, I get it, right? Like I get it. People are going to get pissed. People are going to, and rightfully so. I mean, people should be upset at that swing, but look what the man has had to do.
Right.
Right. So
weight of the world on his shoulders.
Yeah, I get it.
That's I think we're going. All right, we've got, it's as painful as it is to go and rehash this shit over and over and over again. But you had a couple more TLR gems in tonight's game, and that was Tanner Banks getting the 9th inning, eventually giving up the run, what would be the game-winning run to a RBI single for Spencer Torkelson in that situation, and then also the pinch hitting Lurie Garcia there to start the 9th inning instead of Sebi Zavala there. Thoughts, comments, rants about this one, John?
Tanner Banks there, I'm okay with I think he would have had to stay in, right? Because that was the 3rd hitter of the inning.
I believe so.
I believe
to go.
But regardless, I think you pitch around there or you hit your spot. If you look back at the highlights on that, McGuire was setting up on the outside. I don't know I believe it was a slider. And he left it right over the plate. So you're playing with fire there. I don't think you pitch there. I think you pitch around him a little bit, maybe get him to try and chase something. And maybe that was the plan and Tanner just missed. I'm not going to hate on so much of the Tanner Banks as I'll hate on Leary hitting.
Right.
Go with Zebi there. And maybe part of the thing there is if you're screwed if you have to pinch run. You can't pinch run for Zebi there, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I would have liked to seen Zebi hit though. Over Leary. Anybody over Leary. And what's going on with Vaughn? He's sick.
Yeah, they said it was, feeling under the weather. That was.
I'm under the weather. I'm under the weather too.
This team make me sick. Yeah.
Christ. Yeah. I mean, it's
in a alternate universe. Maybe I know when they say that they're going to be off for the day, we've typically known that they're off, and that means they're not available, right? Would have been nice to have like a Jordan flu like sort of setup with Andrew Vaughn there,
but not
in that spot.
You're right, but this goes to the whole mentality of this team, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just feels like there's no, and I hate saying this because it just feels like there's no want, right? Like there
want to, yeah,
right. Like you're in your biggest. I mean, from now on, every series is the biggest series of the season because you put yourselves in that situation. But you're playing they know how important at least these 7 games were going to be, right? Before you even get to Cleveland and Minnesota next week. And you come out here and I'm not feeling too well. I'm feeling under the weather. Do you feel under the weather enough that you can't have an at bat in the 9th inning?
Yeah,
I'm okay if he sits him for the game, right? Like I'm okay with that.
Some hero, like I said, some hero mode, some Jordan flu stuff off the bench.
I don't give a shit if I'm sick. Put me in the damn box. I'm the best hitter on the team right now.
Right. I'm your best option here.
Best option.
Yeah,
best option.
Right. Yeah. All right. Apparently, this is matriculating up to the front office because we got our guy Tony on tap in here. Says the Sox offense is so bad they closed Shy Sox Bar and Grill before the game ended. Jerry didn't even want the money. Yikes. That's a first.
What's up, Tone? We're trying not to be too negative here for you.
Yeah. Overall, Sean, when we were talking about this is not a way to hashtag set the tone for the weekend. You got a long weekend. We just had this at the very end of June, right? Baltimore Orioles in town, a rebuilding, struggling team that's not going anywhere this year. And what do? They lose the first 3 of that series, and
you better not lose. You need to win the next 3. You need to win the next 3. Like there's no effing around anymore. And they did it to themselves.
I feel so dumb because entering that Baltimore series, we said the same thing. If you got to take 3 or 4, right? Well, okay, I guess you do technically still have the opportunity to do that, but it's going to take a lot of want to. And, guys, I think they need to kick each other's asses around in the locker room a little bit.
Are you surprised that there hasn't been anything like that? At least that we know publicly.
Right. Yeah, I think I am, because I feel like that would have surfaced. But who knows? Maybe there has been something behind closed doors. I mean, to be a fly on the wall in the trainer's room, locker room, whatever, clubhouse.
If you're in the trainer's room, the whole roster's in there. So you can have it. Yeah. You just have. Good to see Yohan Moncada.
Yeah, back after
the Broadway spectacle yesterday.
Yeah.
So good to see him back. But I'm fighting myself for like a game like yesterday. Like we're back. Here we go. Now we're gonna get. I'm fighting myself, and I'm trying. I find myself, because I've never been like this, Nani. I've never been so negative about the White Sox before. But I think I like had a breaking point, and like I snapped a little bit because I'm just so disgusted and disappointed in this organization from top to bottom that.
I think that's a multi-pronged sort of like reasoning here, Sean. And part of that is the expectations play. I mean, they were the ones that said World Series. Okay, so and obviously the fans then have those same aspirations. I mean, every year you want to win it all for your favorite team. You obviously do. So there's that, the expectations, and then B, I think it's the repetitiveness of the style of losses that we've seen from this team when they should be the better
dumb
team.
Baseball.
They are, and it's like weird because like they are the better team on paper. Like they objectively they are, and then you're just handing games away like this. And they did it against the Orioles. They've done it against plenty of other teams. They've handed games away to the Rangers, right? And they lose 2 or 3 to them at home. It's been abysmal.
They handed game 1 of the Twin series to the Twins.
Yeah, right.
So we don't need to get back to that.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Dude, it's a rough go for White Sox fans, but there is a chance to get back on track here. We've been saying that one too. Talk about the repetitiveness here, but this is a 4-game weekend series. Game 2 will be Friday night on the South Side, 7:10 p.m. start. Lucas Giolito, Tariq Skubal going for the Tigers there. We'll see. Giolito gave some room for, he gave you reason to believe last time out in his start against the Giants, and even the one before that against the Angels. So I feel like there is a getting back on track sort of trend here for Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, let's hope the gelato stays cold tomorrow and doesn't melt too early, and he needs to get his breaking ball over, man. I have some opinions on Steve Stone, but I do love when he breaks down baseball, and he hits it on the head every time, man. Lucas has become fastball changeup, and if you can just sit changeup because he's not. So he needs to get the breaking ball over. He gets breaking ball over early. Lucas is going to have a really good night tomorrow.
Yeah,
and that's something that the White Sox need. He needs to eat innings. Got to eat. Someone's got to go 7 innings.
Yeah,
hopefully.
It's like, and I love Cease, I can't take away from his performance tonight. But man, when he drives that pitch count up with
50 pitches in the third or whatever the case is, like, man, and it's happened the last couple outings with Lynn.
You don't even have a chance then to go to that.
No,
not even a chance.
Yeah, Lucas, get the breaking ball over, throw strikes, don't walk people, and avoid the big inning, and you're gonna have a really good night.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing about Lucas Giolito. Obviously, we know that the talent level is there based on the 2019 season that he had, and it goes back
2018.
To worst
pitcher in baseball.
We've seen it in the numbers too, though, in terms of talking about strikeout rates and all of that good stuff that he was able to be ranking very highly in his stretches of dominance. Well, it wasn't all going swimmingly here for him. Obviously, he had that stretch of starts from the very end of May through the kind of latter part of June. And then, like I said, he's not completely figured out. He's not hashtag back. We're not proclaiming that yet here, but I do like the way he's grinded and said that I just need to be better. Remember, we heard that from Dallas Keuchel and whatever. It never was going to happen. Whereas with Lucas Giolito, you can at least see the signs of some uptick back towards.
You know that there's effort behind
yeah.
the madness there.
Right.
There's some effort happening. So yeah, go get him, Lucas. Hopefully the offense shows up tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we're going to need it. So speaking of the offense, if they're going to get it done, who's helping them out? Pick to click selection for you, Sean.
I'll go with Timmy again because Timmy's the spark plug to this whole lineup. He got the base hit there in the 9th inning, and you see what happens when Tim Anderson gets on base. That's usually when they score their runs, So Timmy needs to keep. Hopefully, his whatever little mini slump that he's gone through is over, and hopefully he becomes a starting shortstop in the All-Star game. And spark plugs this weekend because we need it.
Yeah,
3 huge games.
Yeah, so I'm going to go a little risky here with mine because I just don't know if they're going to be in. But he's back now. I haven't been able to pick him yet, so I'm going to go with Eloy, but I could also see them pulling that BS, can't play 3 games in a row initially.
Yeah, well,
back.
guess what?
I hope
Boys,
that's
the division's on the line.
I hope he's at least in a DH role if they're not going to do the outfield thing for 3 days in a row. Whatever. I could live with that. So I'll go with him. And as a backup, if for some godforsaken reason he's not in the lineup in any capacity, I'll go with Andrew Vaughn. But even that backup's a little risky because who knows what under the weather means and how.
You might want to go with Muri here.
Yeah. Those are guaranteed. Yeah, there's your safe one when you know it's going to be in the lineup. Yeah,
hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Josh Harrison. I think he's been playing some really good ball. I've liked what I've seen from him over the last few weeks, and he's won me back over just a tad.
It does not make up for anybody the early season struggles in terms of numbers wise, but I will agree with you in that I enjoy the energy and joy with which he plays the game. Because
it's the little things, man.
They've been lacking it, and sure, it seems dumb when they're down against the Twins on that game 2 of that series, and he's revving it up, going around first base. But it shows he cares, and
it's nice to see because we haven't seen it.
And we've gone back and we've talked about, we were energy guys last year, Billy Hamilton and Brian Goodwin. He provides some of that kind of spark, energy, joy that I like to call it, and it's they just feel like they're so they look so, I don't know. I don't even know the word for it. Just lifeless, I guess, outside of that. I
would say 95 to 98% of the season they've looked that way. Yeah. And I don't know what it is, man. There's just something off about, Chuck Garfien opened up the postgame show and just said, White Sox win this game last year.
Yeah.
White Sox win this game in 2020.
Yeah.
The story of the 2022 White Sox was tonight.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good kind of note to end on there, Sean. So, listeners, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everybody getting in the comments here. You can do that yourself if you haven't been so far. Subscribe to OnTap Sportsnet on YouTube. Get alerted when we go live. Drop your comments, and we can feature them on the show here. And make sure you're visiting OnTapSportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports, literature, and podcasting needs. Follow us on social media at Sox on Tap, at OnTap Sportsnet. So, Sean, tough one, but we got through it. So
gotta go get 3 wins.
Yep, gotta go get 3 in a row. So just run off 3 in a row here, and then continue that when you go to Cleveland to start next week too, because you're gonna need those ones as well. It's every like you said, from here on out, every series is the most important series of the season. I like that. So, all right, listeners, until next time, White Sox forever.
Right, Sox for life.